Okay, we in Deuteronomy 11th chapter, the 19th verse. Now let's go to verse 18. Deuteronomy 11:18. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words, just the Most High's words, in your heart, in your mind, and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. You hear the Most High saying the same thing over and over again. So y'all, I heard that already. Did y'all see how the Most High is dealing with us? He's saying the same thing over and over again. Because the first time we didn't get it, second time we didn't get it. A lot of times people go through years and they finally get it. That's why he say the same thing over and over again. Sound familiar? I heard that already. So what? Tell the Most High you don't need to hear it no more. Tell him that. Because he's saying it to you again. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand. Turning these pages, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes as you read in this Bible. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine houses, of thy house, and upon thy gates, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children, and in the land which the Most High swear unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. See? One more. Go to Psalm 78:5. What you're hearing is canceling out religions and what they teach. Psalm 78:5. Let's see if you can put your religion in here. Most I said, for he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel. A law in Israel. To the 12 tribes of Israel. Appointed a law in Israel. To the 12 tribes of Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children. Why? That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children. So the children supposed to learn the laws, and they could declare them to their children, teach their children, that they might set their hope, which is faith, in the Most High, and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments. Because you forget the works of the Most High, you're going to turn to what? Idolatry. You're going to turn to all these different religions that they have exposed us to, coming out of slavery, to be able to follow. That they might set their hope in the Most High, and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments. It might not be as their fathers. How were they? A stubborn and rebellious generation. A generation that set not their heart aright. They ain't set their mind aright. And whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High. That's why you look at Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, Jeremiah 17:4, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, the land that the Most High gave us, milk and honey. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Here we are. But ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Daniel's 9:11. Daniel's 9:11. See, the Most High told us to do his laws, that we're going to be above all nations of the world. We done read it. What we do? Daniel's 9:11. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. You see? Daniel was a righteous man, but he's saying we, including himself, have sinned against the Most High. And you understand, when we go over this, I'll go back there eventually if we have time to show you how you can just teach the children about the Most High right there in that particular chapter. So you see, he's saying the same thing over and over again to us. For you that say, oh, I heard that already, you better apply it in your life. You better learn it, live it, and apply it in your life. Deuteronomy 6 and 8. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frolics between thine eyes. And we hear that already? He's saying it over and over again, repeating the same thing to us. Look at Proverbs 6 and 21. You all right online? Proverbs 6:21. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them upon thy neck. Verse 20. My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them upon thy neck. What's on your neck? In your mind, man. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou wakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. You see that? So it's very important to do what the Most High would have us do, and stop offending him by not doing what he say do, his rules and regulations. Stop being rebellious. It's very important. He's given us instructions. Look at Proverbs, the 7th chapter. Start at verse 1. My son, keep my words, and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live. In my law as the apple of thine eye. So, you think about how these pastors are saying that we not under the law. And you can't go to commandments to say that with the commandments we're not under the law. The commandments and the law, same thing. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Commandments are orders. Law is orders. Keep my commandments and live. And my law as the apple of thine eye. This is what it says. Bind them upon thy fingers. Write them upon the table of thine heart. Write them upon the table of your mind. See? So many scriptures that just... And see, when you say in the New Testament, a lot of you don't understand Paul's writing. Paul was a Pharisee of Pharisees, really. Israelite indeed. What they learned? They learned the law. Did MASHAYACH, did he sin? What is sin? Because y'all want to look at the faith of the MASHAYACH, but what is sin? Sin is defined in the New Testament. 1 John 3 and 4. I want y'all to, some of you that's, dealing with these religions and so forth, let them hear this. A lot of lessons I'll bring forth. Let them hear this. They might be converted. 1 John 3 and 4. Because I'm just dealing with scripture breakdown. Whosoever committed sin, this definition of sin, transgresseth also the law that you say we ain't under. For sin is the transgression of the law. That's the definition of sin right there. Sin is the transgression of the law. So, did the MASHAYACH did he sin? Yes or no? I can't get nobody to comment, nobody answering. Well, y'all listening, but you're not commenting. Did the MASHAYACH sin? Matthew 5:17. This is what he said. Think not, don't even think that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. That's all he had to go by. I want one of you that believe in him, so-called believe in him, because it's so-called, I have to say so-called, because if you are not teaching the truth, you ain't believing him. You say, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. You don't believe in him. You don't want to lie. And you're going to realize that you've been lied to, and you've been given over to lies, and you've given the people lies. Therefore, this is what he say. Think not, don't even think that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And he fulfilled what he came to do in suffering for the 12 tribes of Israel, sins. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, heaven and earth is still here, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law that we reading about in Deuteronomy 6th chapter, till all be fulfilled. You see? This is what he said to you pork chop eating preachers. I gotta keep saying it because y'all say y'all can eat anything. And why do you say that? Because you go to this scripture and you say, see what it says here? The Israelites don't know what they're talking about. Let me show you. Let me show you, congregation. First Timothy, the 4th chapter. Look what it says. Verse 4. For every creature of the Most High is good. You hear that? Every creature of the Most High is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. See there? All you gotta do is pray over it. You can pray over that pig, it's good. You can pray over that hog, those catfishes and them shrimps and them hog maws and everything that y'all eat. As long as you pray over it, for every creature of the Most High is good, and nothing to be refused. So what you teaching the people? If it be received with thanksgiving, for it is sanctified by the word of the Most High in prayer. See? All you do is pray over it. Lying to the people. This is what it says. Let's jump up to verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, we're in the last days, y'all, some shall depart from the faith. Y'all talking about y'all got a faith. Y'all ain't got no faith. Some departed from the faith, giving heed to what? To seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Remember, we went to 1 John 3 and 10. The children of the Most High and the children of the devil. So the children of the devil going to bring forth what? Doctrines of devils. Speaking lies and hypocrisy. Having their conscience seared with a hot iron. You know, a hot iron, put a hot iron on something, it leave that print on there. You got to throw it away. It's good for nothing no more. Got that, that's how you say your minds are. It's like tunnel brain. Got walls up, can't nothing penetrate it. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which the Most High have created to be received with thanksgiving. See? Meats to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe, listen at this clearly, which believe, have faith in the Most High, and know the truth. What's the truth, y'all? Everybody should better sing it with me. Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. See what it say? Those that believe and know the truth, know the laws of the Most High, which we can go to Leviticus, the 19th chapter, and let's see if it's okay to eat these abominable things. I'm going to just deal with pork. Leviticus 11th chapter, Salakia. 11th chapter, 19, just went there about love thy neighbor as thyself. Leviticus 11th chapter, and let's get verse 7. And the swine, that's the hog, that pig, that bacon, that those pork chops and whatever else you eat, hog maws and ham hocks that you put in the greens and all that. And the swine, that's the hog, the pig, though he divided the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat. I don't care how many times you pray over it. And their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. You see? And you go through Leviticus 7th chapter, he tells you about animals that are clean and unclean, that we can eat and we can't eat. Understand those standards. That's why we're in the laws. That's why when you understand MASHAYACH walking on this earth and letting us know what we can do and what we can't do, him being an example of what we can do and what we can't do. So he said what he said. He said he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets. That's all he had to go by. He gonna come and destroy what he had to go by? I don't think so. That don't make no sense. I actually did he sin? You say no, he didn't sin. So he didn't transgress the law. So he didn't eat no pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, and all the things that's abominable. He didn't eat none of that. But for you pork chop eating preachers, he said this to you. Acts 5:19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, which is the laws, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven because you're saying we're not under the law. Therefore, you're going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. What you think your followers, your flock, your congregation going to be called? The least in the kingdom of heaven. You following them. Listen, but whosoever shall do the commandments and teach them the laws of the Most High that he wrote with his finger, the work of the Most High that you saying is null and void, it don't mean nothing, his work, oh, he gonna get you. That's why he's saying gonna be the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. See? So I hope you want to be great in the kingdom of heaven. If not, oh man, what is that least? Let me show you something. Because a lot of y'all think y'all can eat whatever you want to eat. MASHAYACH said that we gonna make our abode in you. You start cleaning yourself up. So let me show you something. Go to Isaiah 66:15. Isaiah, the 66th chapter, 15th chapter. For all you that want to think you can get away with eating anything and putting anything in your body, most I say he made us in his image. And you're going to think you're going to eat anything and just put anything in your body? This is judgment. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Most High will come with fire. He already said he's going to melt you. We read that. Remember we read that earlier? He's a consuming fire. Went through all of that for the fear of the Most High. For behold, the Most High will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Most High, YAHAWASHI, plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Most High, YAHAWASHI, shall be many. Hear that? Now he's going to tell you who this particular is who he killing. Who are going to be that slain? That's going to be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, doing what? eating swine's flesh, eating pig, eating that hog. And the abomination. That's why I say you go through Leviticus 11 chapter, Deuteronomy the 14th chapter, and you see what you can eat that's clean, and discard the things that's unclean. This is what he said. That's why he said, they that sanctify themselves, you think you holding it out, praying over your abomination, pig and crab and lobster and catfish and all that garbage, shrimp and so forth. All those things eat doo-doo. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination, anything that's against the laws of the Most High, rabbit, and cats and dogs and squirrels and monkeys and hippopotamus and giraffes and you name it, they eating it. Snakes, and they even eating lion snakes. Oh, snakes, man. Oh, man. Raising the lions to eat lions. Now, he said, and the abomination, you believe nothing to have a claw on it, y'all. They scavengers. And the abomination, and the mouse. You got the mouse family. The mouse, they eating raccoon and squirrel and mice, rats, all that. Shall be consumed together, said the Most High. Most High is consuming fire. Well, he said they're going to be consumed in this fire that he's going to bring on this earth to melt people. But I know their works and their thoughts. You know what you're thinking right now. And you know that you've been eating the wrong things. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, everybody, and they shall come and see my glory. You ain't gonna miss this if you alive. And in the judgment, he's still gonna do that to you. Gonna bring you up to bring forth that judgment, and you heard it. That's why we got all these problems, these ailments in our bodies, man, because we eat the wrong things. Or those that have carried us have eaten the wrong things, and here they put it in, because you know it comes the man's sperm is blood, put it into the woman's womb, and next thing you know you got all these things that they eating that's abominable from birth, man. Why we gotta change. When you start to change, Most High can remove anything. Nothing's impossible with the Most High. Remove all that from you. Give you a clean slate, man. But some of you that done so many things that you think you can't hear this law, don't want to come back to it because you condemn yourself. But if you're doing things that you know, you that's in this truth, you doing things that you know is off and wrong, then yeah. MASHAYACH ain't going to the Most High on your behalf. But Acts 30, 17 and 30, Salakia, Acts 17 and 30 is hope for those that, you know, have done a lot of things, are doing a lot of things, and know that the Most High, he loved you. He loved Jacob. You can come back. That's what he said. Acts 17 and 30. He said, in the times of this ignorance, the Most High winked at. You hear that? The time of you not knowing, being in darkness. Darkness is ignorance. The time of your darkness, the Most High winked at. But there's a condition. But there's a condition. Now, at this present time, commanded all men everywhere to repent. Everybody to repent. And come back to his laws, statutes, commandments. Find out the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws that you ain't learned under no religion. Or else religion should be busting down the comment section and calling me and just putting it out there. Yeah, I'm doing it. Where they at? No response at all. Because you know you're not doing it. Y'all waiting for, sad to say, Halloween. Y'all gonna give something to church so the children don't have to go out to observe Halloween when you have holy days that the Most High say we supposed to observe his feast days, and you gonna tell them to honor something that represent the devil, demons, witches, warlocks, you name it, all the things that's evil, come to the church and they put on their costumes and come to the church. That's why I say, man, Most High ain't dwelling in there. But this is a hope for you that have done a lot of things in your life and you feel that you're not worthy to be loved by the Most High. Look what he said. In the times of this ignorance, the Most High winked at it. He winked at it, overlooked it. But now commanded all men everywhere to repent, to ask for forgiveness for those sins that you've done, and come back in and start learning the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You know, like I say, you can go over Freestyle Wham on YouTube, if you here with me now, and type in going over the laws. And the magnifying glass is right after about on my page. It'll be a magnifying glass, just puts going over the laws. And you start going over the laws. There's no excuse for no one. Because he have appointed a day. It's going to be a day, y'all, in the which he will judge the world in righteousness. And before I started my class, we went through certain scriptures pertaining to where you find this at and where you find that at. And righteousness was one of the scriptures that we went to determine how you determine what's righteous and what's righteousness. He says he's going to judge the world in righteousness. Remember, we just read about YAHAWASHI bringing forth that tempest upon those that's going to be prepared to fight him and to fight him. And he's going to tell them what he's going to do to them and tormenting them. He's going to tell them their thoughts, and he's going to annihilate them, burn them up without labor by the law. We just read that in 2 Ezra 13 and 38. So that's why it's saying the same thing. Because he have appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness. That's the law. Deuteronomy 6:25. We hadn't got there yet because we're going over Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, but look what it says. This is righteousness. And it shall be our righteousness if, that's a condition, we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power as he have commanded us. Can get by that. So here we are now. Acts 17 and 31. Because he have appointed a day in the which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man who was a MASHAYACH, whom he have ordained, whereof he have given assurance unto all men, in that he have raised them from the dead, and walked the earth for 40 days, and ascended back to the right hand side of the Most High. And when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, some made fun of him. And others said, we will hear thee again of this matter. You see? But you have those that's going to always be trying to make fun of something, make a joke out of things, big jokesters, so that people won't pay attention. But when that judgment comes, we're going to see who's going to be, YAHAWASHI said many a times, they're going to be wed in the national teeth. And they're going to look for somebody that's in a mortal body to comfort them. There's nothing we're going to be able to do. Because how you going to come out? Look, it says a fearful thing in Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to be falling into the hands of the living power, the Most High. What man gonna do when you in the hands of the Most High? He dealing with you. What can man do? That's why, look, understand this, understand this. Deuteronomy 28:49. Last thing he tells us what? You better be ready. Because you ain't going to be there with that man when judgment comes. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. This is for breaking the Most High's laws. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Not when you get in the hands of the Most High. That's why he says it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of living power. Play with it if you want to. Deuteronomy 6 and 9, and thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house, these laws, such commandments and judgments, and on thy gates. And it shall be, when the Most High thy power shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, it's our forefathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not. Hear that? Because the city was already built during this time. And the other nations was under us. He set us above all nations of the earth when we follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. Like it's going to be in the kingdom. That's why I say we're going to be all righteous. I mean, we all going to be following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to be righteous. He said, and it shall be, when the Most High thy power shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not. And in the kingdom, like I showed you, we're not going to build our cities in the kingdom. Look. Isaiah 60 and 10. Isaiah 60 and 10. And I say we, as meaning the children of Israel. Most High will be there. Look what it says. Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, because we broke the Most High's laws. But in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Talking about the children of Israel. We own it. The children of Israel. Don't that sound beautiful? That's why he said Isaiah 14 and 1. This is the kingdom. He said, for the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve. So he will have mercy on Jacob, and he will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. This is the Most High already said, my planting, you're going to plant us in our own land? Here it is again. And set them in their own land. And the strangers, these other nations, that are not of the 12 tribes of Israel, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. They'll be cleaving to us. Look at Zechariah 8:23. Zechariah 8:23. These other nations are going to be cleaving to us. That's why it's so important for us to, as much as possible, every fiber that's in us, to operate as the 12 tribes of Israel. Come back to our customs, our laws, statutes, commandments, our dress code, our morals. You see? That's the Most High gave us to follow to please him. Let's look at verse 22 and 23. We'll concentrate on verse 23 though. Yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Most High of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Most High. Thus is the kingdom. Thus said the Most High, power of hope, power of angels, power of armies. In those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, of these other strangers, these other nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you. They got a choice. But they're going to say this, we will go with you. For we have heard that the Most High is with you. You see? They're going to want to come to us. They're going to want to come to us to know that the Most High is with us. 12 tribes of Israel. So, going back to Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter. Verse 10. And it shall be, when the Most High thy power shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee, which is you, great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not. We already see we're going to build, or they're going to build up our cities in the kingdom. And here, we in the wilderness. He tells us that he's going to give us the lands of 7 nations greater and mightier than us. And we're not going to have to lift up a finger to build anything, because they already built it. He's going to give it to us, 12 tribes of Israel. That's what he's saying. Look at Joshua. Because Joshua and Caleb are the only adults. That's why when y'all say y'all know the Most High, who y'all call God, you better understand. He said Moses is a man after his own. Say Moses is a man he spoke to face. And Moses is making his promised land because he didn't give the Most High the glory when he told him to speak to the rock. You're going to bring forth his water out of that rock. Moses messed up. He told him one time to hit the rock. That's why listening is an art of responsibility. You got to listen you got to learn to listen. And you can't listen too much if you talk too much. So you got to practice listening. If somebody talk a lot, you can listen. You can listen. You hear what they saying. And then counsel. You can't counsel, you can't listen. You got to be able to listen very closely and attentively to be able to bring a judgment from what it is that the situation is about. Otherwise, no need of them coming to you. Because you can't listen because you talking too much. You got to listen. Listening is an art of responsibility. That's what we say. Hear the voice of the Most High. That's why our people can't hear the voice of the Most High, because they running their mouth too much. They can't hear everything. They too busy. Their mind's too busy. Going over here, going over there, going over there. They don't want to pay attention. How you think what it is I'm bringing out I could do without having listen? Listen. Long before now, to know that my listening is brought about my understanding to be able to go over these scriptures and understand what it's talking about. Go to Joshua 24. Look at Deuteronomy, Joshua 24 and 11. And ye went over Jordan and came unto Jericho, talking to we the children of Israel. And the men of Jericho fought against you. Who was they? The Amorites and the Perizzites. These are the nations that the Most High say he's going to deliver over to us. These Hamite nations, so-called Africans. Giants. Some of them giants. Canaanites were giants. Look. The men of Jericho fought against you. The Amorites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Gergesites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and delivered them into your hand. Hear that? And I sent, listen to what he said. The Most High said, I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. Hear that? Most High, man, I seen a grasshopper. It was this big. In modern day, it was, I can't even put it on the screen. It was huge on the wall. this big, grasshopper, this big, or bigger, on the wall. Most High, what he say? And I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. And I have given you a land. He said, we didn't drive these nations out from among us. Most High said he did it. He said, I sent the hornet before you. You imagine that? How big were they? Let's just say, people be underestimating the Most High in his creations and his power to be able to do whatever he wants to do. He said he sent these big old hornets. Can you imagine how big they were? And the way the people were afraid and them running them out. These cats were giants. He said, I sent the hornet. And drove them out. And he telling us, so that you don't get prideful. Verse 12 says, but not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. He said, and I have given you a land for which ye did not labor, and cities which ye built not, and ye dwell in them, and the vineyards and olive yards which ye planted not do ye eat. Now therefore, it's a condition, fear the Most High. How many times we got to say this? Be afraid, be scared of the Most High, and serve him in sincerity and in truth. Which we know the truth is the laws of the Most High, Psalms 119, 142. And put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Most High. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Most High, choose you this day whom ye will serve. If it seem evil to you this day to serve the Most High, choose whom ye will serve. Whether the gods or the idols which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me, Joshua said, in my house, we will serve the Most High. And the people answered and said, Most High forbid that we should forsake the Most High to serve other gods. Lying. But the Most High, our power, he it is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt. All 12 tribes were in Egypt from captivity, from the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight. 10 plagues he put upon the Egyptians, get him a name, the Most High name, and preserved us in all the way wherein we went. Preserved us everywhere we went, and among all the people through whom we passed. The Most High drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites, which dwelt in the land. Therefore will we also serve the Most High, for he is our power. And Joshua said unto the people, ye cannot serve the Most High, for he is an holy power. He is a jealous power. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If you forsake the Most High and serve strange gods, as people are doing now in these religions and so forth, and not even believing in anything but their strange gods, strange idols, then he will turn and do you hurt. Ain't nothing different. Ain't nothing new under the sun. If you forsake the Most High, to we that's living today, and serve strange gods, strange idols, or these other nations and other ones that you done created yourself, or somebody that created and you following along with it, then he will turn and do you hurt. He gonna hurt you and consume you. After that, he have done you good. And the people said unto Joshua, no, but we will serve the Most High. And Joshua said unto the people, ye are witnesses against yourselves, that ye have chosen you, the Most High, to serve him. And they said, we are witnesses. Okay. But we know what we did. While we in captivity in Daniel's time, all the prophets in captivity under some nation. But what do? Shall we proclaim that? What do? Daniel's 9 and 11. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. That thy is your voice of the Most High. Therefore the curse that's from Deuteronomy 28:15 to 68 is poured upon us. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem, upon us, we the Israelites. As it is written in the law of Moses, that we in Deuteronomy 6 chapter, one of them, and he's speaking to us. All this evil has come upon us, yet may we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquities, repent, and turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Understand the Most High's truth. Your truth, which is what? Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Understand the Most High's truth. See? So, it's very important that we see this and change. Deuteronomy 6 and 11. In houses full of all good things, hear that? Which thou fillest not. So we have to fill our houses up with all these good things. Say, we ain't got to fill our houses with nothing. And wells dig, which thou diggest not. Vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not. When thou shalt have eaten and be full. See? But we ain't have to do any of this. It was already done for us. It's already there, Most High said. We don't have to do any of this. Why? It's very important that we see this and we understand and operate in the spirit of the Most High to see these things that's going to happen in the kingdom too. You see? These things going to happen in the kingdom too. What we read in Isaiah the 60th chapter. Deuteronomy 6 and 12. Then be aware lest thou forget the Most High, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Say, beware lest you forget the Most High. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. You hear that? Fear the Most High is saying, which is the whole duty of man. And every entity gotta fear the Most High. Look, go to 2 Corinthians 8:21. What the angels doing? The angels came down, we fainted. They had to shake us. We wouldn't bow down to the angels. No, don't bow down to me. This is why. 2 Corinthians 8:21, whose throne is inestimable. Most High's throne is inestimable, cannot be measured. Whose glory may not be comprehended. Before whom the host of angels stand with trembling. With trembling. You mean that ain't fear? They host of an army of angels standing with trembling. You mean that's not fear? That's not fear? They're afraid. They stand with trembling. That's why I said, Deuteronomy 6:13. Thou shalt fear the Most High. You better tremble before the Most High. Be scared, be afraid of the Most High. Religions teach you not supposed to fear the Most High. You're not supposed to be afraid and scared of the Most High. Are you serious? Thy power, your power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. Ye shall not go after other gods. This is what he said. Ye shall not go after other gods. Or idols. Or the gods of the people. The idols of the people which are round about you. But what we do? Most I told us in Jeremiah 10:1 and 2. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. He said, thus said the Most High. This is the Most High telling you. Learn not the way of the heathen. He's saying, learn not the way of the heathen. Right? These other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, who we are in captivity under right now. He said, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. See? Like they're concerned about these, what they call flying saucers, these unidentified flying objects right now. We wasn't concerned about that. That's why we wrote the song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan. What did I see? Not the Nile. So y'all say you came from Africa. We looked over Jordan. These are the songs that we wrote. The Jordan River goes down Israel. Looked over Jordan. What did I see? A band of angels coming for me. See? Angels are coming. 200 million. This is what it says. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. Right? And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. The signs of heaven. Different things like the solar eclipse and all the different eclipses and all the things that we see in the sky that's happening. Especially those, what they call unidentified flying objects. We call them identified flying objects. Because we know, like I said, we wrote the song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. For the custom of the people are vain. Now this is going to go into, talk about their custom of Christmas. For the custom of the people are vain. For one cut of a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. So they cut that Christmas tree down with the axe. That's what it's talking about. They deck it with silver and with gold. They deck it all up. Silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. Got to put that little cross on the bottom and put the stomp on the end of it and nail it so it can stand up by itself. Or they got a